Welcome to Toffee TV, joined by Andy at El Pavotti on Twitter. If you don't follow him, follow him because he's a very knowledgeable scout and amongst analysts, amongst other things. Just going to have a little chat here about Carlo Ancelotti. First video we've done really on Ancelotti.
It is.
Since he was appointed. I think we've done something on managers before Christmas, but he's in and just really, I mean, got some of his things up there where he won at Milan. Just first and foremost, probably the best manager Everton could get. He was out there.
In terms of name value, most definitely. In terms of, reputation, in terms of history of winning things, then yeah, I can't. Pep's obviously won a lot of trophies. He's not coming to Everton, so yeah, definitely in terms of pedigree, he's the best manager.
Fantastic for the club, obviously, to get him in, and I know he's well being.
It also helps that he can speak perfect English. And he knows the Premier League as well, so that's another major plus. It's no adaptation really.
I think with someone like Ancelotti, there's no question mark over his pedigree. He's won, 3 Champions Leagues. He's won leagues in multiple countries. He was a brilliant player, won trophies as a player. I think he's won 20 trophies as a manager. So no one can really, certainly as a fan base and players, can't turn around and go, well, hang on.
You can't question his ability or his pedigree or anything. I suppose, like myself, you can question the fit, but as I think it was Alan Myers said perfectly, Everton should sort of try and fit him as much as he should try and fit us. We meet in the middle, and that'd work perfectly. So yeah, I think in terms of name value, you're not going to get many better managers really. He's been
and someone who can carry the club on the shoulders.
Exactly, he's the number one. In the sense you don't need to speak to Marcel Brand, you speak to Carlo Ancelotti as Everton, isn't he? In that sense, he's the face of Everton.
And we've kind of needed that
presence. We need that presence. You do, and if Everton want to be considered a big club and be taken seriously, you need a manager with pedigree or at the very least someone with great presence, and he's got both, of course. Yeah.
I suppose a difficult thing for him is that he's coming mid-season, and he's coming at a time when there was 4 games in 11 days. He's only been manager for just over 2 weeks now. And that always brings its own problems, doesn't it? Especially with injuries.
That's why a lot of managers won't take jobs pre-seasons, because they do especially to get your philosophies over. You need that pre-season to weed out the players you don't want and see who fits and who doesn't get the players in. So it is difficult coming pre-season. However,
mid-season,
sorry. Coming in mid-season, but I think Carlo understands that Everton he can't wait till the summer. I think he needs to get in now, start working now. And I think this next 6 months he'll start sorting things out, weed the players out, fit his system, find who does, and improve players. And I think next season, obviously, we'll hopefully be able to sign 4 or 5 players of good quality in the summer. Then we'll be much better for it. I think this week, as we've spoke about on the podcast, he's going to have time with the players to start getting his philosophy over in more detail. And I think that'll be benefit the club. Yeah,
I suppose he can use this next part of the season to really start shaping things for next season. And I know it feels like we've said this a few times over the last few years, this manager will be able to do this. But this is the first one for me, really, real proper top appointments, since David Moyes left. We got Roberto Martinez. I wasn't a fan before we got him because he's the Wigan manager. They'd been relegated. He didn't know how to defend. And for the first season, he was brilliant. And then it kind of wheels came off. Koeman was a big name, but
didn't want to be here.
He wasn't really that bothered, was he? And Marco Silva, a young up-and-coming coach, but yet too inexperienced, really.
It's a lot of expectation with Everton. I suppose if you're from Europe and you're of a certain age, you might not understand how big of club Everton is and how the expectation of the fans is also huge. The magnitude of the club is big within the city as well. So taking the job, I think playing for Everton is much different. I think players who've come from smaller sides, smaller clubs have found it hard. The expectation is different, and you need someone who's been under the cosh, under the gaslights, as they say, under pressure. And Milan, major club, Real Madrid, no bigger club in the world in football. So he is someone who can withstand that glare, if you will. So I think that's one major plus, if you will, that he is someone who can deal with all that, and someone who can sort of, when he speaks, people will listen and they'll take him for his word, rather than, I don't think we're going to find, I think there's going to be times where we disagree, of course, we always will. I don't think we're going to question his motives as much as we will with past managers, I don't think, anyway.
Well, that's it. I mean, listen, fans, the nature of fans, because it's so emotional to us watching the games, and we like to pick our team. It's such a big part of our lives, our football club. You're always going to question a manager. And what I mean by that is go, well, why has he played him? Or if he'd have just done this differently.
Hindsight's always wonderful as well.
But I don't, yeah, of course. But I don't think anyone can say things like he doesn't know what he's doing or this or that because he's won stuff. That argument to me is rendered totally redundant because of, I mean, look, we've got his AC Milan stats are on the screen there, you know, Serie A winner, Coppa Italia, Super Cup, Italy Super Cup, Champions League twice, UEFA Cup twice, FIFA Club World Cup. That's just at Milan alone. Manager,
I enjoyed that one very much.
So. 07 was lovely.
It was lovely win.
It was a lovely win.
That was the worst.
05
seen, but yeah.
05 was horrific.
Never happened. No,
they're not. So, you know, a serial winner without a shadow of a doubt. And that can only be good for the football club because, like we've said, we've had managers certainly in the past that haven't been serial winners. I think we've had managers where players could question and go, you know, David Moyes coming and built a different Everton. He built it from, you know, players upcoming in the career, and he wanted to do well, and some journeymen he got in as well, and he had a mix and a work ethic, and he got players who had that work ethic, and that's kind of why Everton generally worked under Moyes. And if Moyes,
also he had that continuity.
And the continuity was there, and if Moyes would have had a bit of money, he'd have done well. Since then, I think the choices we've made haven't been right.
I don't think as a club, I think we will, I know fans don't like me saying this, but in a sense, we're lucky to have David Moyes and the fact that he was willing to work under managers wouldn't stick for that. Totally different world now with the Premier League money. And I think, you know, Moyes did work well under those circumstances. And since then, I think that we've chose poorly for our circumstances. And they've have changed. Obviously, Martinez was still under the same restrictions. But he had a bit of money, though. He still spent money, a bit of money. And then obviously with Bashir, I think we went to spend happy and we didn't plan for the future. And obviously now we've got Marcel Brands and Ancelotti both, you know, on reputation alone. I know people like don't like to put Brands in the same bracket, but Marcel Brands is in football anyway, maybe not in England in the wider, is considered one of the best director of footballs in the world. So people respect them massively. So hopefully this is our dream team, if you will.
And we have to give it time to progress, don't we? You know, he was at Chelsea, obviously had a stint at Juve as well. He was at Chelsea, won the double in the 09-10 season. Also a Charity Shield, finished runners-up the next year and was sacked. At Goodison, went to PSG, won the league, their first title in 20 years. And I'm reading his book at the moment. He spoke about the PSG bit, and he was really surprised. He got rid of him. He said things changed, and he got told to win this game. You know, if you don't win this next game, even though they were top.
It's a funny club, isn't it?
And it was a bit mad. Obviously, went off to Real Madrid. Delivered La Decima, the Copa del Rey, a Super Cup, another FIFA Club World Championship. Went off to Bayern, delivered the Bundesliga, won 2 Super Cups there, you know, and then obviously went to Napoli as well and had runners-up in his first season with Napoli, and then obviously this season got them into the last 16 of the Champions League as well, and the league form. They've had a lot of disharmony this season with the owner, you know, and they've replaced them with Gattuso, and he's losing home games left, right and centre as well. So, you know,
maybe it's just the end of the Napoli cycle. That sometimes happens. Yeah. I think the one thing to take from this is obviously Carlo's been at the greatest clubs, and I think maybe now, you know, there's obviously been questions from certain quarters, maybe myself as well, and that is this team right, because it is such a talent level below where he's used to. But maybe at this point in his career, he wants to prove himself in a sense, because I think managers do hear criticism when people say you're only good with big teams, and you've got to. I think they like to prove themselves in some way. I think that's why Mourinho maybe took the Manchester United job at the time, even though it is still a massive club. I think he thought I can get them back on top like with Ferguson didn't. I think Ancelotti sees the Everton job as somewhere where he can not prove himself because he doesn't need to, but show his full range of abilities as a manager. He can build a team and make us a force again. Because let's be honest here, apart Marco Silva won a league with Olympiacos, but we haven't had a manager who's won a league since, I think, Howard Kendall the third time we've employed. So it's a bit of a large step up, isn't it? And obviously Carlo's a different type of manager. I think people need to understand that he doesn't really get overly involved in recruitment. Obviously gives his opinions, but he's not like Moyes. He'll be out there scouting players. No. He's not that type of manager. He's always worked under directors of football, so that fits with Everton's model. So he is quite a fit when you look on, under the trophies and them questions. He is a fit, and he isn't someone who's going to rock the boat in terms of demanding massive amounts. He obviously wants money to be able to, and brands obviously would like the money to spend to make the team better, because their reputations are on the line, of course anyway.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be demanding 30-year-old players left, right and centre, because if you look at his record, I think someone put it up that he's very rarely signed players over 26 in the last so many years. Even at Real Madrid they were buying younger players. So
yeah, he talks about building teams and wants to stay.
It's right mix,
and there's a project, and he wants to be here now to go into Bramley Moor, and Everton need to give him everything they can to help him be successful. In terms of his playing style and stuff, we've talked about the trophies and stuff like that. In terms of his playing style, we've seen him use a 4-4-2. Duncan had put the 4-4-2 in place, and he's come in and kept kind of that formation. There's a couple of little variations. We go to 3 at the back and try to overload in wide areas. In defensive situations, we drop back into that 4-4-2 and try to make it difficult, force teams to play wide. And this is something that he changed at Napoli from Sarri ball into what he done with them was, rather than short, intricate passes, they were overloading the wings. It worked really well against Liverpool, actually beat Liverpool twice, didn't he, and drew one of the 4 games over the 2 years with Napoli. And we've seen that really in the couple of games so far. And what does, your kind of, interested in what
he's an adaptable manager, so obviously at the moment he's playing the 4-4-2, which he's used for the last couple of years. So he is, and I think he looked at he probably looked at the 3 games that Duncan had and saw that we had the players. And I think what you'll see is when we play Liverpool, I don't think he'll ever line up again with 2 goal-scoring wingers. I think he'd want an Iwobi or a Bernard in the team. Someone who, I'll compare it to the AC Milan situation in a second. Someone who could cut inside and start getting in the middle and creating things. So at AC Milan, he did it 2 ways. He had the 4-4-2 with Kaka dropping off the front, he played a 4-3-1-2, but they still lined up defensively 4-4-2 with Gattuso moving out to the right to defend to cover the right back, which was Cafu, who obviously got forward, and then Seedorf would drop into the left wing spot. But when they attacked, Seedorf joined Kaka behind Shevchenko, and they had the 3 of them as a front 3. So it's a hybrid 4-3-3 really, but also a 4-4-2 out of possession. So there's different ways you can work it. You play 4-3-3 at Bayern, obviously following on from Pep. That I think that system suited them, especially with Robin and Ribéry in the final days. And they also play 4-3-3 at Real Madrid, when obviously had the midfield of Casemiro, Cruz and Modric, which obviously you make the use of your best positions in the midfield, so that's understandable. So he's mixed and matched, and I think the best thing about Ancelotti is that though he has a philosophy, he wants to play good football. He's an Arrigo Sacchi disciple. Arrigo Sacchi, obviously a very famous coach in the late 80s, early 90s, who really revolutionised Italian football out of Catenaccio, which is your sweeper system. And he was very important in the sense that the next generation of Italian managers were much more attacking, and Carlo Ancelotti being one of his main disciples, really. And obviously AC Milan was his biggest, but he also got Juventus. He also did well with Juventus before that. So I think we'll see different types of formations. I think we'll see 4-3-3 at times, but if he's going to stick with the 4-4-2, I think you'll see you'll see it's sort of a, if you will, a sort of unbalanced, the way it'll turn sort of on its side with with the 4-4-2 with Richarlison playing in the channels, a sort of a winger coming into the middle to try and create, and then your right side, the player maybe will be Walcott or maybe it'll be Keane or whoever it's going to be, cutting inside to make the second strike at the back. But there's all sorts of different ways, and it'll cause problems for teams because it's not a straight 4-4-2 where you're going to be lumping forwards 2 front men. You can be creating problems by having people drop out of position, drag players into different positions. And I think, as you'll see, once he starts coaching the team up, you'll start seeing the positional play, which Everton have been lacking a lot in the last 2 years, in the sense that when we're in the final third, there's a lack of movement. We do tend to wait for the cross. Whereas I think what he's going to do is he'll create the space for Dean, who will be that left back who gets forward, possibly, if it is going to be him, or vice versa with Coleman or Sidibe on the other side, where they do create overloads on that side, but it'll have people moving into the channels and dragging players out. Because what we were doing under Silva, unfortunately, was we were creating space for Dean, but everyone was piling to the middle, and it was very easy for teams to work us out. And I don't think it'll be the same under Carl. I think he'll have us much more spaced out, much better patterns of play in transition as well.
We've seen, just a couple of games, certainly at Goodison against Burnley, we've seen that going from a 4-4-2 into a 3-4-3 with Luca Dean pushing right on, and then Bernard coming off the wing and quite central into the pockets.
I think that really worked. I think we've missed out the last couple of games having that ball carrier from that position. That really did help us. So
that's good that we've seen that. And I think, I suppose, he can only go with it the minute what he's got.
That's
but
the sad
if
thing,
you look at Napoli, their midfield players, Ruiz and
Shalinski.
yeah, people like that are quite mobile.
Yeah.
Callahan, they go, and what they were doing, and Ruiz does it really well, is, and particularly against Liverpool, is they would shift from a 4-4-2 to a 3-4-3. But Ruiz, they drew Liverpool in out to the left back. Ruiz went and got tight to him because he could move. And then they're creating one-twos to cut through the press.
As you say, it was slightly different than Sarri, and that Sarri used to draw teams onto them with quick and tricky passing. They pass through sides. Whereas Ancelotti, same thing, draw the press, and then play the direct ball, and then have someone carry the ball into transition. So and that'll suit everyone.
And mobility.
That's the key change in the squad. I think last season we did add a bit of mobility. Iwobi, Gabam, and unfortunately, people haven't been fit. People haven't been playing the proper positions, and I think that'll change under Carlo. So we should see, once with a fully fit squad and the additions that we're going to make, a much more suited squad to Carlo Ancelotti style play.
Just before we finish, Marcel Brands has had a little bit of criticism of late, and probably fair. Some criticism fair.
At the end of the day, you can question any signing, but I was having a conversation with Patrick Ridge, who's a journalist today, about it, and yeah, you can question certain things. Lack of a centre back, really. We need that extra centre back, maybe another centre forward. I guess I'm a believer that we should develop the two we've got, but yeah, I think Brands is going to be. I think Brands will be helped by Ancelotti, because I think Ancelotti's got a bigger voice than Marco Silva, and I think if they work together, they'll definitely be able to get the players that keep them in.
And hopefully, when everyone's fit and we see a pattern of play develop, then the signings that Marcel Brands has made will hopefully improve, and then people will look and go, yeah, I understand why we got him.
The players who are going to be moved out the team aren't the Brands signings. They're the players who are going to be building upon. So we're going to be signing players in addition to them, rather than move them. And they're not the issue with the side. The lack of mobility, which again, I've said this before, I really still don't know what Ronald Koeman was trying to do.
No,
he built a side that was built for the 90s. That was really immobile, and I think if you've got Olivier Giroud, I still don't know what he was going to try and do. But that's the problem with still the squad is a mishmash of those two styles. And Michael Keane, I know he had a good season last season, but he's not comfortable playing in high lines and passing the ball around the back intricately. And we need a different type of defender than that. And they're the changes to Carlo, and I think Marcel Brands is going to make them anyway. But I think it'll help having a manager with a clear idea of how he wants to play in Ancelotti.
Interesting times ahead, but yeah, we've got a world-class manager in charge of the side. So let's try and have a little bit of patience as much as we can. It's difficult.
Obviously, there's been raised expectations, but it's going to take him, I'm not saying 3 seasons, 2 seasons. It's just going to take him a little bit of time to instill a style of play. And once we see that, we'll see improvements before the end of the season. We'll kick on from there.
Yeah, fair enough. Big thanks to Andy. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. If you want more videos, join us on Patreon. Give the video a thumbs up. See you later.